Good people, welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we are so excited to have you again as the NLC strike have entered the day two. Federal government is running helter skelter to see how they can meet up with their needs. But shockingly, the TUC president, who is really championing this, has opened up on a lot of things. First of all, he had to remind the federal government that what goes around comes around. Number one, that they disobey court order. And I am so excited to hear him say this. And interestingly, he had made a strong revelation about the involvement of the Inspector General of Police in this case. I don't know how true this is, but as we go on, you get to hear his standpoint. Also, in the related development, the NSA, who are in charge of investigating the people behind the brutalization of Joe Ajaero, have also given an update on what they have done in terms of arrest and all of that. We'll give you full details of that in a jiffy. But first of all, let's start up with what the TUC national president or national chairman have to say, talking about the person of Osifo. And according to the news, with the nationwide industrial action declared by the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC entering the second day, the organized labor has said that no court order was received from the federal government or any of its parties not to proceed with the strike, which commenced on Tuesday. The TUC president Festus Osifo, who spoke today on Wednesday, knocked the government for perpetually violating court orders while expecting other institutions to obey the judiciary. Osifo recalled that the federal government and the Department of State Services (DSS) violated court orders directing the release of the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), Godwin Emefiele, from the custody of the secret police when he was detained before he was eventually freed after about 5 months. According to him, he says, yes, we don't have a service on the court order, but we have a government today who perpetually does not obey court order. When DSS was holding Emefiele, how many court orders were passed for Emefiele to be released? Countless numbers of them. And he was furious when saying this. He went further. The labor leader further said once the union received a court order on the ongoing strike, they would liaise with their lawyers and take a decision. According to him, he said, we have a state that refuses to obey court orders. You now expect others to obey court orders, but once we see it, we are responsible institution. We will not say because the federal government continuously violate court institution, we will examine it, and if it is the right thing for us to do, yes, we will. Osifo scolded the government for always rushing to court to obtain restraining orders to stop labor action instead of engaging the union and addressing their grievances. According to him, obtaining court order is not good labor relation on the part of the government. The presidency and the office of the Attorney General of the Federation has berated labor for embarking on the indefinite action despite a restraining order issued last week by Justice Benedict Bagwash Kaib of the National Industrial Court, saying labor must respect court order. Labor embarked on nationwide strike on Tuesday to seek justice over an assault on NLC President Joe Ajaero in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on November 1st, 2023. Meanwhile, in a related development, the the National Security Advisor Ribadu on Wednesday said investigation has commenced into an assault on the president of Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), Joe Ajaero. The NLC also said some suspects have been arrested in connection to the incident in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on November 1st, 2023. Labour embarked on nationwide strike on Tuesday to seek justice over an assault on Ajaero, who was attacked when he was about to lead a protest against alleged anti-labor practice by the Governor Hope Uzodinma-led government. However, the president of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, Festus C4 has said that the union have no confidence in the probe by the IGP and call on NSA to lead the investigation. The office of the NSA should lead this investigation. It should not even be the Inspector General of Police this part, because in this particular subject, we also feel that the IGP is compromised. Reacting about 2 hours after C4 spoke on Breakfast TV show, the NSA said his office is concerned over the matter. In a statement signed by the head of strategic communication in the NSA office, Zachary Mijinyawa, Ribadu regret the incident on Ajaero and condemned it in its entirety as it was against the rule of law and the principle of freedom of association and expression subscribed to by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and its administration. The NSA said the federal government will never condone such an act. In his words, he says, as a fallout of the incident, relevant authorities were directed to conduct thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the assault and bring to book the culprit. Available update indicates that some arrests have already been made in this regard. The outcome of the investigation will be made public as soon as it is concluded. The federal government, through the office of the NSA, therefore appealed to the labor leadership to call off the current strike action and allow the dialogue process underway to be exhausted. That was exactly what the NSA said, which means some persons have been arrested. My prayer is that it shouldn't be innocent people, because it's too speedy. 2 hours after they made recommendation that NSA should be the one behind or be the one in charge of the investigation. There's already news that they have arrested 2 people. I hope that Joe Ajaero saw the faces of those people who carry out that act, so that if they bring in a stranger, he will say, no, this is not the person who was behind it. However, looking at the move by the Labour Congress, I think it's a great one there, and it's a reminder to the government that Nigerians are watching. Nigerians are not idiots, Nigerians are really watching for you to demand that they obey court order, when we have seen consistently the federal government refusing to obey court order. I mean, it's really, really against democracy. The rule of law, which is the supremacy of the law over all and sundry, has been downplayed seriously. And I think that if there's anybody that should even be more interested in fighting, it should be the judiciary, because over time we have seen cases of government officials blatantly refusing to obey. They have made mention of DSS, made mention of the government of the day. I mean, from the days of Buhari, I think Buhari was the one who laid the foundation of disobeying court order strongly. It was his government, whereby we see cases of obey court order, this and that. They would decline openly. So I feel that this is a good move, and the response given to them would kind of put them in the right mind perspective for them to know that Nigerians understand all of this. And someday, who knows, Nigeria tomorrow will begin to do exactly what the government had indirectly declared that it is right to do.